Leave her, Johnny, leave her. You'd eaten all, you'd starved to death, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done, and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her.
Okay, let's take a quick trip through the Cutty Sark. You're entering in through the side of the ship into the lower hold area. That is the rear of the ship there. And you can see this is a wood on metal construction. And this ship was built in 1869. And it was built right at the tail end of the time of the sailing ships, just before the steam engines came into play for these ships. This one in particular was built as a T-clipper ship, and at the time it was built, it was one of the fastest ones ever made. It made its voyages back and forth picking up tea. And then later, as that industry was taken over by steamships, it ended up hauling wool and I think coal for a time. This is a layout representation how that might have looked for the cargo stacked in here. And we're making our way towards the front of the ship. Quite deceiving from the outside. It's really a lot of space on the inside of this cargo hold. I can see where it would have hauled a large cargo. Before we go up, let's take a quick look at the construction. Here you can see the ribbing of the ship. Let's take a quick look upstairs. All right, this is the next deck up. And this ship is just massive. Let's take a walk down to the rear here just so you can get a scale of how large this boat really is. Can't really tell it because it's so well restored, but this ship was involved in a fire during refurbishment in 2007, and luckily didn't burn down. And at the time it caught fire, a lot of the outer encasement and all that was removed for refurbishment, so that was a good thing. But they got some items on display. We're on the top deck here. And, looks like they've got the cabins on this level here. Rather than having the cabins down below, they're placed on the deck here. over the side, that dome is the Greenwich foot tunnel, where you can actually go underneath the River Thames. And this is the little area they've got it in Drydock. From this point, looking rear, you can get a good perspective of the length, size of the ship. Take a quick stroll towards the rear. Once we get back there, we can take a quick look inside the cabins and check out the cramped living conditions of the captain and crew. Walking down the side of the ship, you get an appreciation of how much rigging is involved in one of these type vessels. I don't know if this represents all of what would have been here when it was in actual use, but what they have here now is quite a lot. I'm sure it involved quite a bit of skill keeping all this from getting tangled up in heavy winds. See the helm area, or at least I think that's what it's called. Forgive me if I've got this wrong. I'm not up on nautical terms. I was never in the Navy, and I'm not a sailor. I believe this to be the helm. Check out the cabins. I guess this would have been the master of the ship or the captain. Yeah, very nicely laid out and well appointed. All right, looks like the crew cabin and the officers' cabins are separated out. This is in the rear of the ship, so it looks like the crew cabin would have been more towards the front. Nice view of the River Thames from this location. Let's head down and check out the crew quarters. Wow, with the way these are laid out and partitioned off, if you had any considerable height to you at all, there's no way you could stretch out in these things. You'd have to at least bend your knees or sleep in a fetal position. It's very cramped. But when you're on a ship like this, yeah, space is at a premium. Very cool. Here's the rudder. A view of the ship looking forward from the rear. This is very interesting how they've got it displayed. It's suspended off the ground here with supports on the side, so you can actually walk underneath the ship and admire the metal cladding. I suppose that was to keep worms from boring into the wood that was underneath. Walking up towards the front here, you can see a collection. I think it's actually the largest collection in the world of wooden carved figureheads from various ships. We'll get a quick look at that up here. Now, if you look along the railings, you can see the description of each one of these figureheads. There's quite a lot of them, so I won't read those off for the sake of brevity. There is one Abraham Lincoln in this mix, see if you can spot it. And I will say this as I close out the video. If you're in London, go east just a little bit, come out to Greenwich and check this out. This is a fine specimen of wood on iron construction. I think it's only 3 left in the world, and the other 2 are in bad shape. One at least been just a skeleton of a ship. So this one's actually intact and restored, so you can get the full appreciation of what these ships looked like back when they were new. Also, while in this area of Greenwich, you should check out the Maritime Museum. It's fabulous. And we'll take a quick stroll under the Cutty Sark as we close the video.
I went to chapel, pull down below. I went to church, I went to chapel, pull down below. Way Eagle Alley, pull down below. Eagle Alley in the valley, pull down below. On the way I found an apple, pull down below. Oh, on the way I found an apple, pull down below. Way Eagle Alley, pull down below. Eagle Alley in the valley, pull down below. Who's been here since I've been gone? Pull down below. Whoa, who's been here since I've been gone? Pull down below. Way Eagle Alley, pull down below. Eagle Alley in the valley, pull down below.
Yankee mate with his big boots on.
Pull down below.